How's it going, guys? So I'm back with another video. This is gonna be the manga haul for November, and I didn't pick up that many books, I guess. It's still a pretty big stack, but I did hit up Book Depository, and you know what that means. So let me get right into it. Hopefully nobody calls me because I'm using the phone. But first up, this actually came out the last week of October, I believe. Genshiken second season, number 9. I've been the biggest fan of genshiken from the beginning. The second season has gone in a different direction, but I'm still enjoying it. Um, the if you're an otaku, this is basically the series for you. And if you're reading manga, you're basically an otaku. Then I went ahead and picked up I Am a Hero, the second omnibus. The first one didn't get me. I just didn't get into it as much. Um, for a zombie horror thing, it's different, I guess. But I figured I'd pick up the second omnibus. See if I can get more into it. Then I picked up Your Lie in April, number 10. And I'm really into Your Lie in April. I mean, I think more and more slice of life stories are what I enjoy reading, and I think this one's probably one of the better ones that I've read. But yeah, it's a great little drama. And then I picked up Livingstone, Volume 4, and the last volume of the series. It's been great. It's like, I guess, the Buddhist religion, and kind of like a supernatural take and so on. It's got art by Genshiken Kataoka, who did Man Wonderland, of course. So yeah, it's been good. We'll see since it's only 4 volumes, we'll see how it ends. Sure. I'm sure I'll enjoy it. Then this one's kind of a random one. Welcome to the Ballroom. This is a shonen, but it's about ballrooms. I was watching someone's first impression videos, and I really dug what he was saying about it. So I figured I'd give it a shot. I mean, it's about a boy being bullied. So where does he go? He goes to take ballroom lessons. I figured you'd get bullied more, right? That's number 1. And this is volume 2 of Happiness. It's kind of weird that volume 1 kind of just came out a couple weeks ago, didn't it? I wonder what they're going to do with the schedule on this one. But I really enjoyed the first one. Coming of age story. And then you throw in the vampire stuff. And it gets kind of weird and it gets kind of fun. So then I picked up Ultraman, Volume 6. I've said it before, and I think it's very fitting that this take on Ultraman feels very much like say a DC's New 52 run, or even Marvel now. They've taken this classic character and just gave it a new twist, a new look into the story. It's still faithful to the original from what I've heard, but they're taking it in a fresh new way, so that's pretty good. And I heard that the 2 creators, the 2 guys that are doing the book, were actually working on a fan book of a Kamen Rider, Masked Rider, and of course they didn't have the rights to that, right? So then the company comes over and tells him, hey, we don't want you doing that book anymore. I think it was like a webcomic. So then they gave him this job, which I thought was pretty funny. But yeah, maybe someday we'll get to see that story. And then I picked up probably my most anticipated book, which is Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolt. And just by looking at my icon, you could tell I'm a fan of Gundam. And when I heard Thunderbolt was getting a release, I was really excited. But then, of course, I heard it was going to be by Viz. And that pretty much ticked me off. I'm just not a fan of what they do with the sound effects. I'm sure I'm going to love the story. I'm sure, it's by the creator that did Moonlight Mile. So we're getting a nice, serious seinen. And I mean, the mecha design is basically, it's master grade there. You could complete details on the suits. I mean, it's great. But it's Viz, so I'm just not a fan of the sound effects. Look at that. Terrible. Why, Viz? Why the... Anyways, moving on. I picked up volume 1 or book 1 of the Black Museum, The Ghost and the Lady. And this is a hardcover by Kodansha. I'm not very familiar with the story. I hear it's sort of a supernatural thing, and it takes some real life characters and throws them into the story. But I liked the character design, so I figured I'd give it a shot. And I think it's only like 2 volumes. This collects like a story that consists of 2 volumes, I think, or 4 volumes. Yeah, because it's an omnibus. So there should be another one of these. And then there's more stories to the Black Museum, I think. But I'm not too sure. The author is Kazuhiro Fujiki. So if you know, let me know. And then I found at a local comic shop volume 2 of Doom. Well, this is actually all 3 prestige formats of the Dark Horse release of Domu Nightmares by Katsuhiro Otomo. And I had the first issue for who knows how long, and then I found the third issue. So I was kind of like, digging through boxes, and I finally found the second issue. And I'm sure you could go on Amazon and find the collected volume. It's only 1 volume of Domu. But I figured since I found the first one, maybe I get lucky and run across the other 2. And yeah, there you have it. I could finally read Domu. I don't know why they haven't reprinted it. It is Katsuhiro Otomo. I heard Akira is getting a reprint. But of course that's Akira, right? But yeah. And then I came across this at a bookstore, Ghost in the Shell Human Error Processor. They rarely have Ghost in the Shell in the local bookstore, but I guess Kodansha is getting ready to release their hardcovers for next year because of the movie. So they're probably throwing all their old stock out, trying to get rid of it. And I haven't read the second part to Ghost in the Shell, but I really enjoyed the first one. If you've seen my video, I should have a video of the bilingual edition I picked up on Amazon, which is probably the best way to read it, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion, I guess. But you could also wait for the hardcovers for next year, right? Yeah, you can never go wrong with the Shiro stuff. But that's everything I picked up locally in store. But like I said at the beginning, I put it in an order to book depository. I just started loaning my cart and then removing stuff when it got too full. But I found two series, one complete, one unluckily not complete. And I did find a short story collection. This is Filaments by what is it? Yuki Urushibara. And I think she did Mushishi, which I believe the manga was released in English, Mushishi. Like by Tokyo Pop, maybe youre. I don't know. It's out of print, I believe. But I figured, short stories are short stories. You don't have to get too into it if you don't like the series. I'm always a big fan of short stories. So I decided to keep it in the cart and check it out. The art is nice. I've never read Mushishi. I haven't seen the anime. I think I saw like one episode and I just couldn't get into it. Why don't I clear up some stuff here first? Alright, so back to what I picked up at Book Depository. Like I said, I picked up that short story collection by Yuki. And then I found some of Masasumi Kakisaki's Green Blood. And this is a 5-volume Western series, but I wasn't lucky enough to find the 5th volume. They only had 1 through 4 in stock, and I'm a big fan of Kakisaki's art. If you've seen my previous videos, I did pick up a couple volumes of Bestiarius by Kakisaki, and I'm not sure why he hasn't been translated into English yet. His stuff is just very detailed, and he always picks some strange genres, like Bestiarius is about Roman gladiators, and this of course is a mix of Western, and I believe it starts off kind of like Gangs of New York, but it turns into pretty much a spaghetti Western by the end. So I was happy to find at least the first 4 of the 5 of Green Blood, and hopefully maybe I'll get lucky and find the 5th volume in stock some other time I make an order. And then finally I have a 3-volume series called Museum. This is by Ryosuke Tomoe, and I believe it's sort of a crime drama. It is a seinen, and I believe this character here is the serial killer or something. And it's only 3 volumes. I've heard it's not that amazing, but I'm thinking, I already read a Monster, and I wanted something, in those lines, Monster or even Prophecy. But yeah, it's basically much just a procedural crime series. It's only 3 volumes, so I figured they have all 3 of them. Might as well check it out. I've heard it's got some pretty bizarre imagery, and it hasn't been translated in English either, so maybe someday it will. Who knows? I think the art's pretty good, actually. The character designs looks nice. It reminds me of MPD Psycho. So if you've read MPD Psycho, I'm sure you could get into Museum. But that's it. That's all of the manga that I picked up for November. It wasn't a big stack, but now it looks like it actually is a big stack, doesn't it? So there you have it. Thank you very much for watching.